All right, good. Whoa. I don't have my hearing aid in. Is this the first time I'm speaking today? Talk to my wife. Hold on, y'all. Got to put my ear in, as my youngest son says. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk. Bitcoin Brandon from Los Angeles, California. Go ahead, type your name in the chat box where you're listening in from. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I share information for educational, entertainment, and training purposes only. And it is up to you to make your own informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. It is Tuesday morning in the first or second week of June. Let's go ahead and jump on in to see what's going on in the crypto world. We saw a drastic reduction of the, well, not that drastic. Bitcoin did get up to 71,000, dropped down to 69,000 yesterday and to start off the week. But we need to find out what else is going on. Is that trend continuing? So let me pull this over here and let's take a look and read the chart. By the way, too, anybody that wants to take any volunteers this week to read the chart, or I need to rephrase that. It's not actually reading the charts, but analyzing the charts. It's one thing to read the numbers. It's another, do you understand what you're reading? Okay, let's refresh this. What do we see? Oh, here's a big drop. This is continuing. Market cap's at 2.5 trillion, down 3.5% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance is at 51.4, that high. So Bitcoin had to drop, but that meant a lot of the altcoins had a much bigger drop. So we're going to have to find out why that is. Ethereum is below 17% at 16.4. Wow. Trending, Mantra, Moo the Bull, MAGA Hat. Largest gainers, Swarm, Dynex, and Insure DeFi. Okay. Bitcoin, oh yeah, that's a big drop. So we had this drop earlier in the week and then another major drop now, down 4.1%. What could have caused this type of a drop? Could have been Marjorie Taylor Greene's insane comments, which it was brought to my attention. I briefly heard it yesterday, but I didn't hear it. I was in the news, I saw it in passing, but I didn't pay attention to it until I saw Kenny posted this morning, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Ethereum is down 4.6% and down 7.3 on the week. So as you see, it looks the exact same pattern as Bitcoin does. Also, knowing this, remember the other day we said Bitcoin, if it goes, because of Donald Trump talking about it the way it is, if it goes to $150,000, $200,000 a coin, Ethereum's chart is going to look the same, but Ethereum has a much, much bigger upside. Ethereum can end up going to 10,000, 15,000 in that same time period. BNB, BNB took a big drop, down 5.7%. Solana's down 5%. Ripple's down 4%. Doge 4.5%. Toncoin 3.8%. That just shifted. Cardano, Shiba, wow. Okay, what outliers? Anything that's going the opposite way? Tron a little bit. Leo token. No, Internet Computer had a big drop, down 7.3%. Ethereum Classic, Aptos. Oh, Render's down 10%. Nobody had a good day. Tron Bonk. Okay, let's do it this way. Best performers over the last 24 hours. Bonk is up 1.8%, but it's still down 13.5 on the week. Okay, so we're seeing a rebound here. So you see the last 24 hours is up and the last hour. So the last hour it's got this gain up 1.7%. That's it. Tron, Leo token, and Bonk. That is it in the top 100. What if I look at the next 100? Yeah, okay, I'll go 300. Show me the 300 chart. Okay. Best performers. Oh, hey, maybe I should start doing this. I only really look at the top 100, but what if I expand the search? Top 300 tokens. Baby Doge coins up 21.6%. Gnosis. And then, well, that's it. There's Beer Coin. Beer Coin is up 69.3% on the week. You know what? I'm gonna test this out now in the mornings. Expand the search and we'll get our eyeballs on more tokens. The only problem is a lot of these are still, they're not going anywhere. They can be fake. The worst performers, Constitution Dow people, Andy ETH, Brett. Brett took a hit, but it's still up 38.5% on the week. So that still was successful. Ionet, that looks to be brand new. Not Coin is taking a hit. Like I said yesterday, you had a great marketing plan to launch, but what's next? At some point, you got to deliver. You just can't go off a hype. It's like an NBA player who has never played a game of NBA yet, was drafted top draft out of college, and next thing you know, they're a bust in the NBA. Bounce Bit, Dog Go to the Moon, Netmind token. Okay, I'm going to start doing this just to get my head familiar with these other tokens that may creep into the top 100. There's Helium. Helium is straight down. Pepe Coin. We might find some diamonds in the rough by doing this instead of waiting for it to hit the top 100. Okay. All right. We got to switch to geopolitics. This past week, the president of the United States has spent the whole week in Europe because celebrating the 80-year reunion of D-Day. Is there anybody on right now that does not know what D-Day is? And it's okay if you don't. Type me in the chat box. If you do not know what D-Day is or the significance of D-Day, it's okay. It happened 80 years ago. When I was a young lad, my grandfather served in the military part, the Navy, Grandpa Robinson. And he made it a point because I was born in July 1976. And that was the bicentennial month of the United States celebrating 200-year anniversary or birthday. 1776, July 4th. So my grandfather always made it a point that I had to understand American history, not just local, global, especially from a military perspective. Because him and everybody before him served in the military. And my father almost was going to be a fighter pilot in Vietnam, but the war ended before he could be fully deployed. And if you guys remember that interview I did with my dad, he talked about that back then. Well, he was a navigator because of his eyesight. His eyesight was bad. They wouldn't allow him to be the pilot, and he wanted to be the pilot. Or in his words, quote, handsome jet pilot. My dad had an eagle on him. So I knew all about Pearl Harbor and all the Korean War. That's when my grandfather was in the Korean War, and then Vietnam. And then I have a degree in political science. I studied history. So good. You guys, Christina, I don't know what that is. D-Day is the day after the Nazis occupied France For 4 years, D-Day is the day that the Allied forces, on a surprise attack, launched the largest naval to land invasion in history onto the French shores, and that was the turning point of the war as far as on the European side. And if you ever watch the movie Saving Private Ryan, that will give you a good kind of idea about D-Day. A lot of American soldiers and Allied soldiers died. They gave their lives, and they're still buried over there in France. And so the Allied forces and NATO always reveres the day because we saved Europe. But we did more than that. And this is what's important to understand. This is also what led to the new empire, if you want to call it, of the United States. The reason why we are able to live the way we do, why we are in so much debt, yet still the most powerful nation on the planet, is because of D-Day, us dropping bombs on Japan, and what happened after the war. We helped to rebuild the rest of civilization, so to speak. North Africa was smashed. The Middle East was smashed. This was the decline of the British Empire, where they pulled out of all of their colonies that they had. So you had the demise of the British Empire and the rise of the American Empire. And our economy was stronger than ever because we had the benefit of the Pacific Ocean on the west, the Atlantic Ocean on the east, Canada to the north, and Mexico to the south. And Russia could not invade. Well, Russia was our ally for World War II. So there was no invasion of our shores. Only thing that happened to us was Pearl Harbor. So all the factories and the war machine that was built up for the war was still there. Uh-oh. Hunter count is coming down. Guilty on 3 felony counts. Well, I guess we can't call that a bias in the jurisdiction system when Joe Biden's own DOJ is finding his son guilty and Biden is not going to pardon him. It's a serious question. If Donald Trump Jr. was found guilty, would Donald Trump pardon his own son? Hell yeah, he would. That's not even a question. Will Joe Biden pardon Hunter Biden? I don't think he will. Maybe. Okay, I can see him doing this. If I think as a father, you have president and you have as a father. As a president, no, I would not. As a father, yes, I would. If Biden loses the election, you know how they always have those presidential pardons like this last day in office? I wouldn't blame him to try to pardon his son because he's on his way out the door anyway. If he wins the election, there's no way in hell he's going to pardon Hunter for the optics of it. But I'm not surprised he's found guilty. Anyways, let me get back to this. You guys got to understand this history lesson because this is going to pertain to our money. And everything that I say right now is not for one side or the other. I'm just talking history and the facts. So after World War II, our entire infrastructure was intact and United States took over the world. Only we didn't do it the way the British Empire did it, that we had to station our troops and take over other countries as colonies. We did it more through money and influence. So we helped to rebuild Western Europe. We led the way in the fight against the the Iron Wall, where communism was rising again, and the world had to choose between communism or democracy. There was a race going on, and the two superpowers, USSR and the United States. So countries were now, in the Allied side, countries were now choosing sides. China was our ally in World War II. But the Russian communists got in there and helped them to create the Communist Party, the People's Republic of China, and they ousted the United States-backed democratic government in China, which fled to Taiwan. So if you understand what's going on between China and Taiwan right now, that's a remnant from World War II. And it is a big thorn in the side of China, who believes in all under heaven, one nation, and they blame the United States for breaking it up. And they want Taiwan back. But they got that influence from the USSR, which their alliance still stands to this day. So how do we do it? The United States dollar became the world's reserve currency, and we touched the petrodollar, oil attached to it. So the rest of the world's economies were smashed. Their money was meant nothing. So they were forced to have to use the US dollar. And by that, they gave us huge influence on their local politics and what goes on in the region. Another thing, America, we used to be isolationist. We didn't want to be involved in World War I. We didn't want to be involved in World War II. We called it Europe's war. Let them do whatever they want. But both wars that we tried to ignore dragged us into it, which dragged us money, equipment, and most importantly, our soldiers that died on foreign lands twice in a 40-year period. We said no more. The League of Nations was created after World War I. That didn't work. And after World War II, we created the United Nations, and then we created NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. What that was meant to do from our standard was we can no longer trust and rely on European nations to govern themselves, because they're different independent nations in a small space. They speak different language, and they have ancient histories against each other. So it's only a matter of time before another populist like an Adolf Hitler rises up, whether it's in Italy, whether it's in Germany, whether it's in Prussia, whether it's in Hungary. Only a matter of time. And then we got conflict once again, and it's going to drag us into it again. We said no. We created NATO and said, look, through our leadership, we are going to guarantee your protection. We don't want you guys arming yourselves anymore. We got this. And it's allowed the United States to be dominant on the planet for the last 80 years until now. For the first time since World War II, a major push to leave NATO is underway. I don't know if this is ignorance and lack of knowledge of history, or just straight up treasonous. It's one or the other. You cannot say, I understand history, and at the same time say, I don't want to support NATO. You can't logically say that. Your argument is flawed. Because if you do that, then, okay, you can't. If you do that, then you have to acknowledge that history will repeat itself. And the isolation movement you want to have within the next 20 to 30 years, we will be back over there sacrificing American lives again. So it leads me to this. And I'm just going to play what she has to say here. This has nothing, before anybody gets nervous and offended, this has nothing to do with Donald Trump. I'm not focusing on Donald Trump. I'm focusing on her. She's either ignorant, doesn't know history, or a traitor. Listen to this.
for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, Security Investment Program. My amendment would strike over $433 million in NATO funding from the bill. America should not be doling out hundreds of millions of dollars to international organizations to help them fight their enemies.
The sponsor of the amendment has shown pretty clear evidence that she has no idea what the NATO Security Investment Program is actually funding. We're talking about funding that is provided to build infrastructure that takes care of our troops that are overseas.
Okay, first of all, it's rare that I say this. My political values is not Democrat or Republican. I am socially liberal, but I am fiscally conservative. When it comes to international, I'm conservative. That NATO bill was written by Republicans. President Roosevelt, President Truman, President Eisenhower, President Kennedy, President Johnson, President Nixon, President Ford, President Carter, President Reagan. Those are the ones that are no longer alive. They all would be rolling, well, Carter's still alive. They all would be rolling in their grave to hear this, the ignorance of this, the fall of the American empire, the gall of not having any kind of understanding of why we do what we do. I don't know if it wasn't taught in school, what she's not getting, I don't know. But then to have a whole list of Republican congressmen that go for it is even, I don't even know what's more, I can expect that coming from her. She's stupid. But the other congressmen to go for that at the same time as we're celebrating 80 years from D-Day, my grandpa will roll over his grave. It is indefensible. Their enemies is our enemies. So I'm not going to read this article because it's going to get me triggered, and I don't want to go down that road. But this is just to show what will happen if we do go down this road. It will destabilize the United States dollar. Period. We will no longer have the influence and control in Europe because these European nations will say, okay, we can't rely on America anymore to lead the way. We're going to start looking after our own interest. Do we want Germany? At the same time, Germany just had some elections. And for the first time since World War II, they've moved back to the same talking points that they did during the days of fascism, which started the wars in the first place. It's this new populist movement that's taking place. And at that same time, you want to move us out of NATO? NATO wouldn't exist without the United States. And I think that's part of the point. The question you need to ask is, who benefits from this policy? That will tell you everything. Who benefits from a weaker NATO? Who benefits? That tells you everything you need to know. That's why I said it's either ignorance and stupidity or it's treasonous. And it's a disservice to all of those American soldiers who died in World War II and beyond. Anyways, like I said, it will impact us. You will see the collapse of our the power, the collapse of the petrodollar, and the collapse of the United States, because these other countries will no longer listen to us. They won't buy our debt. And now, as us standing on our own, we will crumble under the weight of our own BS that we've done over the last 70 years to keep us on top. So as an American, I want to keep us on top. All right. That's my goal. Keep us on top. This ain't going to keep us on top. It's going to weaken us. Next, we've got Mexican billionaire Ricardo Salinas doubles down on Bitcoin, advises and I did get this argument. Let me say this before I move on. So I said, I just think that they should pay their fair share. United States shouldn't be sending money. We got homeless people right here. You know that old saying, you can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time? If the reason why we're on top is because of the way we are doing things. It's not about them paying their fair share. It's about us maintaining control. They do what we say, period. The United Nations can't do anything without us. No, Judy, because you're going to cause a problem. I know the road you're going to go down. I don't want to cause that today in our community. And I gotta move on. But I appreciate you want to have a comment. But I can't go down that road. You can type it in the chat box. Oh my God. All right. Let me see where you're going with this. Go ahead.
Thank you, Brandon.
If you go crazy, I'm gonna shut you off, but go ahead.
No problem. I get it. But here's the thing. And I will admit I missed some of what you were saying because I got a call from the doctor in the meantime. But I have to say you are bang on that. Okay. And Angela Merkel has already said to members of Europe, we're on our own. Now, I want people to think about, just like they said, cui bono, who benefits from this? And I think the only reason why people like MTG are gaining traction was because of NATO's invasion of Libya. I mean, that's outside of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Okay. So where does Libya come into all of this? And so people are thinking maybe NATO's gotten a little bit too powerful and they're starting to abuse that power. But without NATO, I mean, Europe can just basically roll over. NATO needs to be there despite the amount of power that's there. Just wanted to back up your point and
All right,
to
I
point out
appreciate that.
why the ignorance is gaining traction, and it has to do with that question there.
I appreciate that. Now I'll say this, even it's not so much even that NATO needs to be there to protect against the East. It's actually really there to keep Europe in check, so that we don't have these breakaway nations. And then you've got Italy against, Spain, or Italy against Germany, or the infighting within Europe. NATO keeps those nations in check under the thumb, and I say it that way because it's true, of the United States. The United States is able to maintain a balance that doesn't cost us, our soldiers, lives. And the bill that she's trying to cut the funding of is providing the actual infrastructure for our troops to be over there and not actually have to fight a war. The station, the money, the infrastructure. So long-term it benefits. Now, because of this, we're talking about how it's going to affect us in money. We got to act as if, what if it does happen? If we do go down that road and say, okay, America is now going to move more towards an isolationist movement. We are going to pull out of NATO. We're going to really not care about what the United Nations has to say. And, they're on their own. The rest of the world starts to get the message that there is now a vacancy in leadership. Somebody is going to try to step up to fulfill that role. And who is that going to be? Is it going to be China? Is it going to be Russia? Is it going to be one of the European nations? Which means now United States will always be acting reactionary against what they're going to do, because they're going to be doing things that's in their best interest, as they should, which means it may not necessarily be in the best interest of the United States. The current policy that we've had for the last 80 years ensures that even our allies, they're doing stuff that will always be in the interest of us at the end of the day. Even if their own people get pissed off by it, as long as it's in our interests, we're cool with that. But can you imagine a future that none of us have experienced because we weren't alive? Every single person here was born and raised during a period of an American dominance. Unless, you were born before World War II and you can remember that. But even then, between 1920 and 1940, still after World War I, can we live in or imagine a world where the United States is not dominant? And how is that going to impact our money? I'll tell you right now, say goodbye to the US dollar. And we need to make sure we've got our portfolio in real estate and precious metals and digital currency. And even we're going to have to try to figure out what's going to replace the dollar and how do we get our hands on that currency to safeguard ourselves. And the US dollar will go through massive inflation. You think this inflation right now is bad? We haven't seen nothing yet. What took 100 years to happen will happen in like 30 days. And all the big experts are already predicting this. So that's why I am for America first. And when I say America first, that means America dominance and the status quo that we've had for the last 80 years. All right, Mexican billionaire. This is also telling right here. Ricardo Salinas doubles down on Bitcoin, advises using it as an inflation hedge. Really? Ricardo Salinas, the third wealthiest man in Mexico, has recently doubled down on his proposal to use Bitcoin as a reserve asset. And by the way, just so you guys know, everything that I've stated was not a Democratic position. It was a Republican. It's the Republican foundation since World War II. It's the Ronald Reagan playbook, George Bush playbook, that the current GOP is doing something different. So I want to make sure I'm on the record so you understand what I'm saying here. Okay, on social media, Salinas defended the role of Bitcoin as an inflation hedge, commenting on a post that presented inflation as a hidden tax on fiat money and advised his followers to purchase it. So what do we always say? Follow the river of money. One of the wealthiest men in Mexico is telling the people, you got to purchase Bitcoin. More and more wealthy people are taking notice of Bitcoin's properties. Now, I used to say this years ago. There's 71 million millionaires and billionaires on the planet today. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. There's not enough to go around for every single one of them to own one whole Bitcoin. And the time will come when they will want to. So for now, it might be smart that each of us owns at least one whole Bitcoin. Best case scenario, worst case scenario, own just a quarter of a Bitcoin and keep it in your family. Hold it in your family for the next generation. You will be in the top 1% of all asset holders in the world because that is what it's going to be seen as, an asset. So Ricardo Salinas, a Mexican with a fortune of over 10 billion, advised his followers to purchase Bitcoin to battle inflation. It says a problem that majorly affects Latin countries like Argentina and Venezuela and African countries like Zimbabwe. Answering a post on X that referred to the inflation phenomenon and its effects on the income of citizens, Salinas stated, buy Bitcoin and keep your money out of the hands of those who want to take it over. Ooh, that's a loaded comment there. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Let's see who's been paying attention. Who said buy Bitcoin and keep your money out of the hands of those who want to take it over? Who are those? Who are they? Type it in the chat box who you think they are who want to take it over. Unlike fiat currencies issued by governments, Bitcoin has a fixed 21 million issuance limit. This means that only 21 million Bitcoin can ever be created, and its value cannot be weakened by printing more tokens as nations commonly do to finance their spending. While more Bitcoin is issued with each block mined, this issuance is controlled and can be predicted. Unlike governments that can print money without any system, thus causing value dilution and consequently rising inflation. How many of you guys saw my post this morning on Facebook? Right here. If your parents made 80K in 1990, you'd have to make 246,000 plus in 2024 to afford the same life. This is the part most people don't get. To have an $80,000 lifestyle in the 90s. Now, we all were around in the 90s. Some of you were adults working full-time jobs in the 90s. I was still a kid, kind of. I was becoming a young adult. I was in school. I didn't finish till 1998. If you were making 80K, did you think you were well off even then? 80K in 19, I know not in California. Now let's fast forward 30 years to have that same lifestyle. How many people that had a job making 80K then are now making 246,000 today? Can anybody guess? Did salaries rise that much with it? No. Standard of living is the lowest. My generation is the first generation since the last 100 plus years to have a less quality of life than our parents did. The generation that actually enjoyed the greatest prosperity for Americans and the most amount of people was the baby boomers. The baby boomers soaked all that up until they hit the age of maybe 50, 45 and 50, when things started to really turn the other way for them. The last 20 or 30 years or so. But before that, the greatest generation's kids enjoyed and especially in America, prosperity like no other Americans had ever experienced. And I say for the most amount of people because that's post-civil rights movement, where now you had women and you had minorities have the same equal rights as everybody else. And you have the most millionaires being created and billionaires across the spectrum. So that prosperity ended 30 years ago. So my generation is not nearly close to what our parents were able to do. Our parents were able to buy homes at 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, buying their first house, car, raising a family of 4 or 5, putting them through college. My generation is graduating in debt. There's no way possible to be able to buy a home at 19 years old, 20 years old. Or even the next generation now is living with their parents until they're in their 30s. Generation X, we are now put in a position where we have to take care of our parents because they're now suffering from this new economy. So the baby boomers, our own generation, our children, and now we're at the age where I'm at the age where my friends are becoming grandparents already. And that means their children. 4 generations literally is on the back of one generation for the most amount of people. That's tough. 246,000 plus to have an $80,000 lifestyle in the 90s. Let's see what you guys said here. You said, who was eating it up? Federal Reserve, that's true. The government, that's true. BlackRock, absolutely. Vanguard, yep. The ones who want control over the people, that's true. You guys are right. The ones who railed against Bitcoin are the ones that's going to end up owning the most Bitcoin. Okay, it is a form of control. What do I say about the river of money? What the wealthy do in the middle of the ocean? They just pull up anchor and they just follow the new direction of money. And next thing you know, the same ones like Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan. Okay, so now we got the billionaires are starting to pay attention. Last week, Salinas also urged his followers on social media to purchase Bitcoin to deal with the loss of value of national currencies, reacting to a post that reported the fall of the Nigerian Naira's price under a Satoshi. It is a crying shame what's happening in Nigeria right now. In their own effort of trying to have control, they could have used Bitcoin to do the opposite. And they could have used it to boost the Naira. Instead, they're so freaking paranoid and they want to have so much control over their own people. They're killing their own economy. I remember I had a conversation with my father. This was maybe I was in college and I was at that age where I was, learning about the politics between black and white and colonialism and independence and the equality really in America. But then I was talking to my dad because I didn't know everything about Africa. And I used to ask him, I said, Dad, I don't get it. How is it that some of these African countries that are run by Africans, why is it that they're not thriving on a continent that has so much richness in it and the land? And it was an interesting conversation. And when I started to understand and study the after effects of colonialism and how the Willie Lynch doctrine can last for generations, even after freedom. And then the infighting between tribes and different religions, just because you have the same skin color doesn't mean you're the same people. And the lines that were drawn up for nations wasn't drawn up by the people in Africa, it was drawn up by the colonials. Even the name Africa isn't come from Africa. Anyways, that's a whole nother we go deep on that one. But anyways, that's a crying shame. In fact, speaking of Nigeria, Nigerian interest in crypto persists despite crackdown. Meme coins prevail in countries north. In the northern states of Katsina and Borno, residents are increasingly interested in the meme coin Dogecoin. Really? Why? Meanwhile, in Delta State, known for its financial services leaders, Bitcoin garners significant attention. A Nigerian lawyer has called on authorities to implement cryptocurrency regulations if they aim to have an impact on the industry. USDT favored in states with underdeveloped banking infrastructure. Yeah, because it now is giving every single person who doesn't have access to a bank account, they have access to a token backed by the US dollar. Nigeria's interest in crypto has remained robust despite the ongoing crackdown on digital asset exchange platforms. So Nigeria is kind of having a crackdown like America, but not far more worse. With Bitcoin and meme coins like Dogecoin dominating in various regions. According to Nairametrics report, Interest in Dogecoin is more prevalent in Nigeria's conservative northern states of Katsina and Borno. These states, along with Akwa Ibom, Jigawa, and Yobe, also show a marked interest in Solana. Bitcoin, on the other hand, has Delta State as its stronghold in Nigeria, with Anambra, Bayelsa, Edo, and Rivers states also demonstrating significant interest. The report said Bitcoin's prominence in Delta State is not surprising, given the region's reputation for producing some of Nigeria's leading figures in the financial services sector. The report also indicates that Nigerians and states have limited banking services appear to prefer the stablecoin USDT. Yep. As Google data indicates, USDT is in high demand in the states of Ebonyi, Anambra, Jigawa, Bauchi, and Enugu. Carlos, Breaking the Curse of Willie Lynch, the science of slave psychology. Breaking the Curse of Willie Lynch, yeah. That is the Willie Lynch curse. It's still alive in the United States. I mean, it's when you have generational trauma, it gets passed down unknowingly from one generation to the next. So even though slavery ended 140 plus something years ago, 160 something years ago, it is the trauma of it still persists today, passed down from generation to generation. I haven't spoke on this, and I'm not going to go into any detail about Congressman Byron Donalds talking about the Jim Crow era and the Black family. But you have to understand, even before the Jim Crow era, the Black family was broken for 400 years. That's called the buck breaking, to make sure that a Black man was not seen or by his own woman as having the capacity to be head of the household and protect the family. And so the Black woman had to take the role of sometimes having to protect her own children from the Black man. That's a whole nother psychological trauma that our people are still going through today. Anyways, the report also indicates that Nigerians and states with limited banking services appear to prefer stablecoin. That's true. Let me fast forward to this. Nigeria urgently requires a regulatory framework for crypto. That's in an opinion piece. We need crypto regulation. For years, the Nigeria crypto industry has, with the limited support given to it by governments and regulators, been largely self-regulating. We cannot continue to hawk common inaccuracies and misconceptions about how all or most of the crypto is anonymous, criminal, dark, and opaque. Not in 2024. I remember when I went to college, that was my first time going to the South, was when I actually went to college. And my grandparents I didn't understand it at the time, but they were freaking out about it. They liked the fact that I was going to be going to Morehouse. But I really saw one of my grandma, who's from Louisiana, when I told her that I was taking a trip with my boys. We were going to go to the Battle of the Bands, Grambling versus Southern, and we were going to drive from Atlanta through Mobile, Alabama, into Louisiana. We went to Baton Rouge first, and then into New Orleans. My grandma freaked out. She was telling my mom, hell no, don't let him go down there. And I went anyway. But there's a whole, it's a lot of trauma there. Okay, next one. FTC warns of crypto scams from online love interests? Huh? Love interest. This is late night crypto talk. The FTC has issued a warning about crypto romance scammers who offer investment advice. You know what? I was thinking one of these days, once we have the new ILCA 2.0, everything down packed, and I'm looking at my schedule because I'm going to be reorganizing some things. And if I have an opening, I might have at least maybe once a week crypto talk in the evening so that more people will have an opportunity. A lot of people are in this morning time is at work. They can't participate live. But if I have one in the evening, more people can actually participate in that and we can really get into it. But anyways, the FTC emphasizes the risks involved and urges immediate reporting and caution to protect others. They establish an emotional connection with you, so you're more likely to believe that they're an expert in crypto investing, for example. Yeah, we had the Green Book. That's a whole another topic. I get this all the time. I'm somebody's even doing that to me right now, where they try to butter you up to get to know you. Hey, handsome, good morning. How are you doing today? Where are you from, if I might ask? If you actually look at my freaking page, it will tell you where I'm from. And it's a dude on the other side pretending to be a woman trying to get your attention. But there are people that fall for that stuff. Next thing you know, you're getting scammed. The FTC issued a consumer alert on Monday, advising individuals on handling situations where an online romantic interest offers investment advice. Well, Judy, that would depend on the topic. Authored by Colleen Tressler from the Division of Consumer and Business Education, the alert highlights the deceptive tactics used by scammers posing as romantic partners to exploit victims financially. The FTC detailed the process, saying they establish an emotional connection with you, so you're more likely to believe that they're an expert in crypto investing. But that online love interest is a scammer. People have lost tens of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars to romance scammers. Typically, the scam starts with an unsolicited contact on social media. Scammers meticulously study your profile. I don't even think they do all that anymore. To build trust and rapport. Once a relationship is formed, the conversation shifts to investments, with the scammer claiming to prioritize your financial security. In reality, their sole objective is personal financial gain. Should someone you meet online offer assistance with crypto investments, it is likely a scam. These fraudsters promise high returns, claim there is no risk, and offer to teach you investment strategies. However, all investments carry inherent risks, and guarantees of return are false. The regulator stressed, scammers often request quick money transfers via gift cards. The moment you hear that, you know automatically scam. Payment apps or crypto. These are methods frequently used by fraudsters. If you encounter such offers, terminate contact immediately. Report the scammer to the social media platform and inform the FTC. This is another reason why our community is so important. See, if any of you guys get approached by anything you're not sure about, there's no shame in asking us, bringing it to the, hey guys, have you heard of this before? I got approached with this. What do you guys think about this? That's what this community is about. So we can save you from, getting caught up in something. Well, we had one of our former members called me in tears saying, I wish I stayed in ILCA. He lost $13,000 that he got scammed. And he was still in the hope that he could get his money back. And I was like, send me this conversation. Sends it over to me. I was like, the first paragraph, I could have told you that was a scam. If you was in our community still, you would have known that's a scam. So if people say, I don't know if I can afford the $49 a month or the $99 a month in ILCA, the value that you're getting, you can't afford not to. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm gonna plug my own business, but I'm giving this to you for cheap. This should be $1,000 plus, especially if it could have saved him 13,000. He said, man, if I knew I would have saved $13,000, I would have had no problem being $99 a month with you. If you encounter a situation, the FTC said recommend immediately ceasing all communication. Yeah, don't reply. I'm getting a new one too, since my telephone number, I have multiple numbers, but one of my main ones has been on the black web, and every now and then I'll get a text message, and they're being slick now. They'll ask, let's see what's one of these newer ones here that said, yeah, this one just came in yesterday from a number I do not recognize. Is a text. Today is nice day. What's your lucky day? What? Who the hell are you? Now I don't respond. I just block. Or here's another one from, I never got this one. It just says, how was the party yesterday? Oh, wait a minute. I'm figuring I can do something here. Why am I? We got technology. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? So the first one, today is a nice day. What's your lucky day? It's block. Then there's how was the party yesterday? Now this 626, that is a local number here. Block. And what they're trying to do is to get you to respond. And you don't want to, don't respond to any of that kind of stuff. Okay, what else did I have here? I'm at the top of the hour here. Surge in digital asset investments following SEC ETF approvals. Yep. This was bound to happen. Record-breaking week for digital assets as U.S. Ethereum. Well, is it record-breaking? Because what's happened over the last 2 days? We're seeing the opposite. Bitcoin went from 71,000 to 66,000. Ethereum went from 37,000 to 3,400. So I don't know. This article might already be outdated. What's going on, Mike? Hope you're feeling better today. Oh, you missed a good topic, Mike. You're going to have to watch the replay. Listen to what I said at the beginning. All right. Russia set to recognize Bitcoin mining. Now, this is very interesting. Russia and China have a love-hate relationship when it comes to crypto. One year, they're the Bitcoin mining capitals of the world. The next year, they're banning it. And then they come back, they bring it again, and then they ban it again. The reason is they want to use this technology to get their independence from the United States. But at the same time, they don't want their people to use this technology to gain independence from them. You see the catch-22, the problem, the dilemma, and they haven't quite figured out how to handle it yet. But I'm not going to read all of this. I just wanted to see the headline. The recognition will help miners get out of the gray zone in Russia. Nevertheless, Kavalyov clarified that this codification would only be possible after passing a law regulating cryptocurrency mining activities. As far as we know, colleagues from the Ministry of Economic Development are already looking into this issue. Okay, so Russia wants to bring back crypto mining. The DOJ and the FBI unveiled charges against 3 UK nationals in an NFT rug pull scam. The UK, what were they doing? So the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York and the New York Field Office, yes, I know it's time to stand, announced on June 6th an unsealing of an indictment charging Mohammed Amin Acha. But I thought this was the UK. What are they doing in New York? Oh, UK nationals. Okay. So they're here in America. And Daoud Hassan, Mohammed Rilaz, all UK nationals with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. The defendants face charges from the fraudulent scheme which deceived victims into buying digital artwork from the Evolved Apes NFT collection. The defendants ran a scam to drive up the price of digital artwork through false promises about developing a video game. They allegedly took investor funds, never developed the game, and pocketed the proceeds. Thousands of people believed these false promises and were tricked into buying these NFTs, including here in the Southern District of New York. FBI Assistant Director in Charge, James Smith, commented, these three defendants allegedly were part of a scheme to pump up the price of NFTs with lies to the public about developing a related video game and to surreptitiously transfer the proceeds of the fraud to their personal accounts. Ghosting customers without fulfilling a promise not only reflects poor business integrity, it also violates the implicit trust buyers place on sellers when purchasing a product, no matter if that product is in a store or stored on a blockchain. The FBI remains committed to pursuing those who perpetrate fraudulent schemes out of a selfish desire for a quick profit. According to the indictment, in the fall of 2021, the three defendants executed a type of scam commonly known as a rug pull, where developers advertise a digital project, collect funds from purchasers, then abandon the project and keep the funds. They allegedly created and promoted an NFT project called Evolved Apes that involved the marketing of digital images of cartoon apes. This Evolved Apes, I think I even mentioned this in our NFT section courses. Yeah, in the fall of 2021. I think I do have them mentioned in there. Acha, Waleed, and Hassan, all United Kingdom nationals, are charged with, if they're 23 now, they were only like 18, 19 years old back then. One count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and one count of conspiracy to commit money laundering, each of which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Unless you're, CZ. Yeah, you get off with just paying a fine. All right. That is it for that. Again, like we talked about yesterday, another way for all of you guys getting ready for the ILCA 2.0 to make some extra money is our affiliate side. Selling our promo pack. Our promo pack for $500, 80% off. You get all 10 courses using promo code EDU20. If you sell this, you get $100 commission for every sale. Regular price of this is $2,500 for all of these courses. And if you buy this, you will receive 3 Omega miners if you make this purchase. Also, if you're already a diamond member, like Brandon, I already got all the courses, this isn't going to really do anything for you. You can actually, if you would like to help somebody else to get crypto educated, like what Melanie was giving us a great idea when it comes to creating a scholarship program. For $500, purchase the courses for somebody else, and you get to keep the 3 Omega miners. There's no more Omega miners out there that's going to be given away. Regular price, $899. So that is gone. Speaking of, there will be an update video coming out because the promo page is over. So if you used to use on GetFit Mining, remember this promo page to sign people up? You can't use that anymore. The only thing you go here is if you have commissions waiting for you to claim your commissions. Instead, if you go back to getfitmining.com, you connect your wallet, click on dashboard. Hey, let me switch this. Click on dashboard, and this is the link you're going to be giving out. getfitmining.com/start/your username. What does that look like? It looks like this. So all in one setup. So if you give this away to somebody, they connect their wallet. Step 1, connect your wallet. Step 2, save who your sponsor is. Step 3, create your own username. Step 4, the only thing available right now is the primary. There will be another upgrade later on, more information, but this is the next promo that's going to last until July 1st, I think, or July 30th. Primary, 100% mining power. You can only purchase it with GFAM. This is how the ecosystem works, because now instead of buying it with BNB, they've got to, you can just get USDT on your MetaMask wallet and then use that to purchase GFAM. Add the GFAM token. You know what they need to put here? They need to put the contract address. I'm going to tell them about that. Put the contract address of GFAM on here so that they can add the GFAM to the wallet and then swap for GFAM. And now by using GFAM to purchase this, the buying of the GFAM is going to push the value of the token up. So all of the physical activity that you're doing, you're going to make more money. So you're going to start to see this ecosystem. So right now it's just the primary. So you do that. Step 5 is, oh, wait. It's already right here. I skipped step 2. That is the contract address. Oh, my bad. No, this is for MQT. So if you want to buy MQT and you need, oh, okay. So you buy the miners with GFAM, you unlock your docs with MQT. This is how the ecosystem is going to be working. Then you can evolve your primary miners up to the ultra. Say, well, how do I get to my omegas if I'm starting off with primary? You evolve your primary miners up to the omegas. So this is how the entire ecosystem works. Approve at USDT, evolve it. And this is how we make money in a self-sustaining ecosystem. Unlock your mining doc slots. So I skipped. I went here from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now mining dock. Okay, so mine are already docked. And then you got your inventory. Add BNB on your mobile app for blockchain fees and transactions. It's right here, all in one. You click on dashboard, you'll be able to see how many you direct have, how many is in all your referrals, your team. See your drop-down menu of everybody there. You can click on to see your NFTs, your miners. Click evolve. If you need to evolve anything, you're good to go. Yes, Mr. Nowalski. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm gonna message you privately later on.
Okay, no
All right,
problem.
thanks. Yeah.
So there will be a instructional video coming out today. So I'm not going to be teaching and training on this until after I get the direct information from Lynette. The last thing she has here is this promo will end on June 30th. June 30th to July 15th, we will move the miners to Lenny miners, 50% mining power on July 15th. Everyone can get started with 1 Lenny and doc slot 1 and no further promotions. That's it. Then she says, okay, purchase. I think I posted this let me make sure. I think I posted this last night. Begin with no. 180 MQT using USDT, 7 doc slots, claim 7 primary miners, $700 value for free as a project. So the moment you unlock the mining docs, you're also going to get miners for free as a project. All of the MQT tokens to unlock docs in the mining doc contract as a project. All of the USDT is in the token contract, providing MQT base value. So it launches at $1. There is only 430,000 MQT in circulation. The goal is to onboard 13,000 new members, provide $1 million in liquidity. You put, the project has 2.3 million of MQT for liquidity. We list at $1. Okay. page is working 100% properly now, so I can finish the video and get ready. Okay, so she's finishing the video. So once she does that, I should have all of that before presentation I do tomorrow. So when I do the presentation tomorrow, I will have updated slides and more information to give. But it's giving you guys to know where to go. That's your link. giftedmoney.com/start/live one dream. All right. So that is it for Crypto Talk for today. This is Tuesday. I'll be back tonight for our AI class for our Diamond members. I forgot what lesson we're on, but we'll be doing that tonight. Guys, have a fantastic day. Did I put the link in? Go to ilcaaffiliates.com to take advantage of the affiliate program for ILCA. And again, I am still, even though the Omega promo is gone, I am still offering it in one version privately. But please do not repeat it publicly outside of our group, because then I'm going to have people saying, that's not fair. What about us? Go ahead, Judy. What's your question?
Hey, Brandon, I know if somebody buys the $500 course, they get 3 Omegas. My question is, can somebody buy the $500 course, get 3 Omegas, and then donate $500 for a scholarship and get another 3 Omegas?
Well, as long as they pay $500 again, yes.
Okay, so if somebody wants 12 Omegas to finish out all their slots, then they could buy the course for $500 and then donate $500 3 times for scholarships.
Mm-hmm. As long as $500 is being spent. I don't care what you do with the course after that. If you keep it for yourself or if you're buying it for somebody else. Yes, you can do that.
Okay. But somebody's not going to buy the course 3 times, right? So once they buy it, then I guess all that's left is to donate to scholarships.
Yeah, you just buy it under with a different email address. But get with Miss Casa. She will show you how to do that. If you've already bought it yourself, how do you buy more? But yes, you can do that as long as $500 is being spent, because I have to pay for these things. So yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
I encourage that. Buy as many as you want and give it away for charity. Hold on to it. I mean, to give away for later. Yes, you can do that.
Okay, thank you.
But you will get three Omega miners each time. All right, that is it, everybody. I will see you guys tonight for Diamond class. Take care. Bye-bye.